And just like that, week one of the NFL regular season is done and over with. It was crazy. We had rookies starting. Some of them were impressive. Some of them did not play well at all. We had Tyreek Hill getting arrested before the game. And the body cam footage is out now, so obviously people are going to have opinions about that. And then we had some exciting games. Obviously, the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams game going to overtime, and the Lions just pounding the rock, playing smash mouth football, taking care of business, winning the home opener against the Rams, a rematch from the wild card round, of the playoffs last year. So week one was crazy. The first game, the Chiefs and the Ravens, that was absolutely phenomenal. What a way to end that game. Lamar Jackson had Zay Flowers, his main guy, wide open 2 plays before the last play and missed him. So that was very unfortunate. And then the last play, Isaiah Likely, who had a hell of a game Thursday night, we all thought he had both feet down. He had both feet down, and that toe, they lost by a fucking toe, for Christ's sake. So Isaiah Likely definitely pissed off about that. The Ravens once again losing to the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson just cannot beat Patrick Mahomes. He's his kryptonite for some reason. 1-5 against Patrick Mahomes all time, regular season and postseason. So you had that going on, but that was a great way to start off week one. I knew after watching that Thursday night game that week one was going to be absolutely phenomenal. It didn't disappoint. And yeah, it was a great way to start off the 2024 NFL regular season. So yeah, the Bryce is back. We're back on the show. Guys, time with the Bryce. So thank you for joining me on this Tuesday morning. We got some Lions football to talk about. I want to talk about that game in deep detail with the Rams. That was a hell of a game Sunday night. That crowd was amazing. We'll dive into that a little bit. And then we got to talk about the disaster that happened this past Saturday at the Big House. The Michigan Wolverines going up against the Texas Longhorns. The Texas Longhorns looked absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season they compete for a national championship. Quinn Ewers looked absolutely phenomenal. That guy played his ass off. His offensive line did a great job. And then Michigan, what the hell happened to them? They just fell apart. I mean, unbelievable. They didn't show up to the game. So we'll dive into that a little bit. But I want to talk about this Lions-Rams game for a couple minutes. So yeah, the Lions won in overtime, 26-20. They won the coin toss, and the Rams offense never saw the field. We went down there. 7 out of 8 plays were running plays. David Montgomery, a battering ram. That guy absolutely killed it. I mean, this guy was just running his ass off. And that's why I said earlier when we started the podcast, smash mouth football at its finest. And Detroit, I mean, it just fits who they are. Blue collar, rise and grind, ready to work, ready to take the day, ready to win games, work as a team, and get the fucking job done. And that's what the Detroit Lions did. They went into Sunday night, and they played a hell of a game. It got a little scary there towards the fourth quarter. You know, Jared Goff threw that interception, which set up a touchdown drive for the Rams. It got really close. I was having a heart attack. And what other way to start off the season if you're a Detroit Lions fan? They always give you anxiety. It doesn't matter how good they are, how bad they are. It doesn't matter if it's the first game, the 5th game, or the 17th game. They always give you anxiety. But I wouldn't have it any other way. The Detroit Lions came back in this game. They survived the Los Angeles Rams, who obviously came into this game looking for revenge for that wild card loss in the playoffs last year, but they couldn't get the job done. The Detroit Lions defending the den, one pride, all grit. Everyone did phenomenally well, and you know that defense came up huge late in the fourth quarter. Alex Anzalone. I know on the podcast I've always, I haven't been the biggest fan of him, but you know what? That game, especially the first play of the game, he comes out from the linebacker position. Stafford throws a pass, a little screen pass, and boom, he blows that play up for like a negative 2-yard loss. So he was phenomenal, man. I mean, dude, that guy had a hell of a game on defense. He definitely deserved a game ball. And then Jameson Williams, that guy came out of nowhere. I had an idea they were going to get him going because obviously last year production was not what we wanted. Obviously he missed a few games last year because of the gambling violation, and he was hurt for a few weeks last season. But what a way to start off his season. And that's what they needed to do. You have to get your playmaker started. You have to give him reps. You have to give him looks, and that's exactly what happened. His first ever career 100-plus yard receiving game. He had 5 receptions for 100-plus yards and 1 touchdown, and he killed it, dude. That guy was lights out, and he was exciting to watch, and he definitely made some plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't have the production that we're used to seeing as Detroit Lions fans, but you know what? He did get the job done. We needed him, He did what he had to do. We had Sam Laporta. He did a good job as well. Jahmyr Gibbs, he was definitely a receiving threat. He did good. But, yeah, David Montgomery, man, overtime. That guy was MVP for sure. He definitely did deserve the game ball as well. That guy was just running over that Rams defense. You can tell the Rams were tired. That's why they had to use the timeout when we got into the red zone. They had to use the timeout because Sean McVay's like, man, I got to give these guys a break. We can't stop them to run. Our guys are getting tired. But obviously that timeout didn't mean shit because we ran into the end zone and scored a fucking touchdown to seal the deal. It was awesome. I mean, you can hear the crowd through the TV. I can only imagine what it was like in Ford Field. I'm sure a lot of people missed work Monday morning for sure, but that was absolutely a tremendous game. What a way to kick off the first Sunday night football game of the season. But yeah, Detroit Lions, man, hats off. What a performance. They deserved the victory. Jared Goff, 18 for 28, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. As I mentioned, that 1 interception thrown like 10 minutes into the fourth quarter, which set up that touchdown drive for Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And then Matthew Stafford, got to give him flowers, right? 34 of 49. They did pass a lot. I did notice that. Obviously Puka Nacua got hurt late in the first half. And then it was the Cooper Kupp show. Cooper Kupp was tremendous. He had a hell of a game. But Matthew Stafford, you got to give him his flowers too. He did really well too. 317 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But man, he was on a mission, but came up just a little short. So yeah, we are 2-1 all time against the Rams. So that's good. We needed this victory. This is how we start off the season. This is a good way to kick off the 2024 NFL season if you're the Detroit Lions. You got to feel good about yourself, man. I mean, this was a tough game. You knew the Rams were going to come in here and try, get that revenge win from last year's wild card playoff loss. You knew, and we won by 1 point in that game. You knew that they had a game plan, a hell of a game plan. I mean, that passing attack, like that, and Matthew Stafford, he threw it 49 times. I mean, obviously they were pass heavy. If Puka Nacua did not get injured, who knows how many more times they would have thrown the ball. But Cooper Kupp looking like his old self in that game. So yeah, receiving. So Cooper Kupp had 14 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, and on 21 targets. So yeah, he was definitely the main guy once Puka Nacua went down. Tyler Johnson got involved a couple times, and then Puka Nacua only had 4 receptions for 35 yards, obviously, because he got injured. But he had 4 targets, so every time Stafford threw him the ball, he caught the ball. So that was crazy. But yeah, hopefully he gets better. I read a report that he's going to be on the IR list, so he's going to be out for at least 4 weeks. So if you have him in your fantasy league, I suggest you pull him off now, bench him for a couple weeks. He'll be back ready to go. So yeah, that was crazy. Like I said, everyone contributed with the Lions. Defense did look shaky at times. Obviously, the passing game, the first drive, 3 and out. That was great. Get them guys off the field, get our offense going. But then the second drive for the Rams, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they kind of figured it out. Stafford threw the ball quick, hike, 1, 2, 3, boom, he found an open receiver. It's like Tom Brady back in the day. 2 to 3 seconds, he found an open receiver. Those quick passes, we could not stop, man. He destroyed us with those quick passes. But at the end of the day, when it all counted, when it all mattered, our defense showed up and played lights out. And Aiden Hutchinson got a sack towards the end of the 4th quarter, so that was awesome to send into overtime. And then, like I said, we won the toss. Got the ball, and we just ran down that field. It was awesome, man. But yeah, David Montgomery, hats off to him. He needed that. But yeah, I couldn't be more proud of the Detroit Lions. I was excited. I couldn't sleep that Sunday night. I'm pretty sure the whole city of Detroit couldn't sleep. The whole state of Michigan, perhaps, couldn't sleep. Like I said, a lot of people probably missed work the next day. But dude, David Montgomery, man. 17 carries, 91 yards, 1 touchdown, the game winner. winning 26-20 at Ford Field. It was awesome. Dan Campbell's happy, and Detroit Lions are happy. It was a hell of a game. One of the best games I've seen so far this season. So now we got to get ready for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to be tough. Baker Mayfield's no slouch. He finally has figured himself out there in Tampa Bay. He's not in Cleveland anymore. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Cleveland. That's a disaster over there. They probably should just tank the rest of the season, because that's just, man. I mean, Dallas is a good team. Don't get me wrong. Dallas is a good team, but man, Cleveland is bad. So, but yeah, now we got Tampa Bay, and like I said, Baker Mayfield's no slouch. He's definitely has figured himself out. He's got weapons. He's got a decent offensive line. You got Mike Evans. That guy's been a beast for many years now. So yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning 37-20 against the Washington Commanders. So yeah, they can score some points too. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next Sunday at home. I do believe it's a 1 o'clock game. And, we got to just get ready for those guys, go after Baker Mayfield, create that pressure. I would like to see the defensive line get more pressure, because we didn't get a whole lot of pressure on Stafford Sunday night. So we need to fix that. We need to get more pressure on Baker Mayfield so he can, make mistakes. And then our defense capitalizes, and then our offense goes on there, and then you know what happens there. The running game, the two-headed monster, Montgomery and Gibbs, that's always going to be a perfect matching there. And then you got St. Brown. You got Jameson Williams. Hopefully he can keep that going the rest of the season. Laporta, Brock Wright, all these guys. Khalif Raymond. Didn't really see him a whole lot, but hopefully we'll see him in the mix this season. But yeah, unbelievable game. And yeah, like I said, week 1, dude, I can't complain about it. Football fan for most of my life, and the NFL week 1 was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, started with the Chiefs and the Ravens, 27-20. Like I said, Lamar Jackson cannot beat Patrick Mahomes. It's like his kryptonite. Cannot beat him when it matters most. Hell of a game there. What a way to start off the 2024 NFL season. The Chiefs definitely took care of business, but man, it got really exciting there towards the end. I feel bad for Lamar, because he did have a good game. He had 16 carries, 122 yards, and this is all from ESPN.com, by the way. And then Friday night, you had the Eagles winning 34-29. Jordan Love got hurt. He was expected to miss 3 to 6 weeks, I do believe I saw. So it's going to be tough for the Packers. See if they can rebound from that. And then, yeah, a bunch of scores from the league. Obviously, the Steelers winning 18-10 against the Falcons. Bills coming back. It looked like they were going to lose against the Cardinals. They won 34-28 against the Cardinals. You had the Bears winning 24-17 without scoring an offensive touchdown. And I was watching a little bit of this game. Caleb Williams, I was not impressed. I get it's the first game. You got a long season. But, man, you're the former Heisman Trophy winner from a couple years ago. Number 1 draft pick. People are expecting you to do great things. And, he's got, weapons. He's got DJ Moore. He's got Keenan Allen. He's got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. He's, Rome Odunze, a rookie wide receiver. He's got these weapons. You got to use them. And, I thought Tennessee was going to win this game. They blew it. Will Levis made some crappy decisions late in the game, and it cost him. It really did. I don't know why he's trying to throw the football as he's going down. There's a defender right there ready for it. And, it's like it's like Halloween, trick or treat. Give me that candy. And he took that candy and he took off, and he scored a touchdown. But yeah, without scoring a single offensive touchdown, the Bears won at home 24-17. That's crazy right there. That's insane. That's unbelievable. But yeah, if you're the Titans, you just kick yourself in the ass for that. And then the Patriots, 7.5 point underdogs coming to this game against the Bengals. They beat the Bengals on the road, 16-10. Bengals look horrible. Joe Burrow, I'm really worried about him, because I have him in one of my fantasy football leagues. He does not look good. This Cincinnati Bengals team does not look good at all. So that's concerning to me. And then the Patriots winning their first game. Gerard Mayo, the new head coach for the Patriots, winning his first game. So that was awesome. And then the Texans and the Colts, AFC South matchup, division matchup here. You have the Texans winning 29-27. Good game there. I wish Tank Bell or Tank Dell, rather, did more in this game because I have him in one of my fantasy leagues as well. But C.J. Stroud, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. That guy's unbelievable. That guy is a beast. So yeah, that. And then the Dolphins winning against the Jaguars 20-17, the Battle of Florida. And yeah, obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, yeah, Tyreek Hill got arrested before the game. And the body cam footage is out. I watched it late last night, and yeah, it doesn't look too good. But, at the same time, listen to the cop. If he tells you to do something, just fucking do it. It's that simple, man. But yeah, anyways, Tyreek Hill had 7 receptions, 130 yards, and 1 touchdown. So even though he got, detained and, handcuffed, he still had a pretty good game. But yeah, this story is not going away. I'm sure we're going to hear many more things on that whole situation involving Tyreek Hill. But yeah, listen to the cop and maybe follow the law. Wear your seatbelt and stop driving like a complete asshole. I don't know. There's people around, there's children around. What do I know, right? But yeah, you got that. The Saints win 47-10, dominated. Panthers look awful. They look at that. That's a shit show waiting to happen. Bryce Young looks bad. That whole team looks bad. I mean, they just have nobody. No offensive line. Their defense sucks. I mean, you can see 47-10. That's absolutely pathetic. If you're the Carolina Hurricanes, Jesus, not hockey. Carolina Panthers, rather. Excuse me. If you're the Carolina Panthers, I mean, what do you do? And that's a division game too, the NFC South, which I think is up for grabs. I would like to say the Buccaneers are going to win it this year, but shit, the Saints look pretty damn good. Derek Carr, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 15 carries, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. I have him in one of my leagues. So yeah, you had that. And then the Vikings beating the Giants 28-6. Giants are god-awful. Daniel Jones, you pay him that big contract. He's overrated. But he doesn't have an offensive line. You don't have Saquon Barkley anymore. You're really relying on Malik Neighbors, rookie wide receiver, to make that team great. Not sure about that if you're a Giants fan. So you have that. And then the Chargers taking care of business against the Raiders 22-10. Jim Harbaugh's first win as the Chargers head coach. Welcome back to the NFL, Mr. Harbaugh. Obviously, many years he was the coach for the San Francisco 49ers. Went back to college, coached the University of Michigan, and now he's back with the Chargers. So, yeah, we'll see what they can do this season. But, yeah, J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State running back, former running back. 10 carries, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Had a hell of a game there. So, yeah, Michigan and Ohio State working together. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. So, you have that. And then Seahawks win 26-20. Good game there. And their jerseys looked absolutely sick. They should stick with those for the rest of the season. So you got that. You got the Cowboys winning 33-17, as I mentioned. Cowboys taking care of business. The Browns look awful. Deshaun Watson looks awful. I mean, that guy is just, and you pay him all that money, and he ain't doing shit. And he's probably not going to do shit for the rest of the season. He's probably going to get thrown out of Cleveland, if I'm not surprised. He's going to get thrown out, and people are not going to miss him. That guy is just horrible, trash. Bad. Just no. Not an NFL caliber quarterback. Not what he used to be in Houston. He's definitely missed a step or two, for sure. And then, as I mentioned, the Buccaneers, our opponent next week, 37-20, win over the Commanders. Baker Mayfield, 289 yards, four touchdowns on the day, 4 big ones, taking care of business. And then, obviously, Sunday Night Football, you had the Lions coming back in dramatic fashion, as always, giving us heart attacks. 26-20, winning at home. That crowd went crazy. Jared Goff had a good game. Montgomery had a game, 17 carries, 91 yards. 1 touchdown to Jameson Williams, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. His first 100-plus yard receiving game in his career. And then obviously last night you had Monday Night Football. No Christian McCaffrey, but it didn't matter. The 49ers win 32-19. Jordan Mason, 28 carries, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. They were really relying on that running game, and he showed up big time. So congrats to Jordan Mason. Give him his flowers. He deserves it. And then, yeah, the Jets just didn't look, didn't look good at all. Didn't look like they knew what the hell they were doing. Aaron Rodgers, though, he looked all right, but, as a team, that defense is, it's bad. It's really bad. So, yeah, 49ers winning, and that's week 1 of the NFL regular season. Yeah, lots of exciting moments. We got players being arrested by the police. We have rookie quarterbacks doing good things. We have rookie quarterbacks not doing worth a damn. We have veterans like Deshaun Watson not doing worth a damn. We have the teams like the Lions surviving, winning dramatic fashion in overtime against their opponent from last year's wild card playoff, and then you got the defending Super Bowl champions winning at home against the New York Jets, who a lot of people think are going to do great things, but watching last night, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, we have to remember, so it's going to be a long season for a lot of these teams, but it's going to be an exciting one. So, yeah, you got that. But, yeah, Lions, Buccaneers, this Sunday, it's going to be a good one. Check that out, and then we open up week 2. With the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. That's gonna be a good one, division matchup there. So yeah, short week for the Bills and the Dolphins. We'll see what they can do. So yeah, I'll make my picks for week 2 of the NFL regular season. So we gotta dive into the Bryce's picks for week 2. You got Buffalo at Miami. I like Miami at home. I think Tyreek Hill has another big game. Josh Allen did have a hell of a game this past Sunday, but on the road, I think Miami's going to take care of business. So I got Miami winning at home, division matchup there. That's going to be a good one. And then Sunday's slate of games, we got New Orleans at Dallas. Dallas playing at home. I'm going to go with the upset here. I like the Saints. Derek Carr has a big game against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense, obviously led by Micah Parsons, comes up short in that game. So I got the Saints winning against Dallas. And then Tampa Bay at Detroit. This is going to be a crazy one. Obviously, another revenge game for the Buccaneers, losing in the divisional playoffs against the Lions last season, 31-23. So now you got the Detroit Lions at home once again, going up against the Buccaneers. I got the Lions. I think they continue that momentum going to week 2. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has a big game in this one. So I got Detroit winning that. You got Indianapolis at Green Bay. At Green Bay, no Jordan Love, but they're playing at home. But Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, he has a big game against the Green Bay Packers. I got the Colts winning this one on the road. You got the New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. I just don't like Tennessee. I don't trust Will Levis. That defense is not good enough to defend against the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. I like the New York Jets on the road against the Titans. You got San Fran at Minnesota. I like San Fran in this one. I think they go into Minnesota and win that one. Minnesota did look pretty good, despite not having, J.J. McCarthy, rookie quarterback who's done for the rest of the season, torn meniscus in his knee. But yeah, San Fran takes care of business on the road. Seattle at New England. You know what? In this one, I actually like New England at home. That was an impressive win on the road this past weekend against the Bengals, and at home they get their first win at home this season. So I got the Patriots over the Seahawks, rematch from the Super Bowl almost 10 years ago there. You got the Giants at the Commanders. Like I said, New York Giants, Daniel Jones is overrated. That guy's trash. He's absolutely awful to watch. The Commanders win this one easily at home. You got the Chargers at Carolina. Carolina, same situation. Bryce Young and that whole organization's an absolute joke. The Chargers win this one against the Panthers. You got the Cleveland Browns at Jacksonville. Another situation. 3 straight quarterbacks, absolutely trash. Deshaun Watson, he's bad. He's absolutely bad. Who knows if he's going to get the start this week. But I like Jacksonville at home. I think they rebound from that loss against the Dolphins from week 1 and get the home victory. So I got Jacksonville there. The Vegas Raiders going up against the Baltimore Ravens. I got Baltimore at home. Lamar Jackson has a big game against those Raiders. The Rams at Arizona. Arizona, don't sleep on them, man. They're a team that, despite losing against the Bills this past weekend, they were up in that game most of the game. And they just fell apart. I believe, though, in this game, the Rams rebound from that Sunday night football loss. The Rams will win this one on the road. NFC West division game here. I got the Rams over the Cardinals. Pittsburgh, you got the Steelers at Broncos. I like the Denver Broncos at home. Justin Fields, I don't trust him enough. And then Russell Wilson, whoever starts this week, I don't trust either of them. Bo Nix, I like what he did this past week, even though they did lose against Seattle. They bounce back and win at home. So I got Denver over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati Bengals at Kansas City. Like I said, Joe Burrow, man, he needs to step up. That offensive line needs to get some work done. But Kansas City at home, it's hard to go against the defending Super Bowl champions at home. I got Kansas City winning this one against Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals. The Chicago Bears on the road going up against Houston Sunday Night Football. I like Houston this one. At home, Houston, C.J. Stroud looking very well. I think he continues that success going to Sunday night, so I got the Houston Texans over the Chicago Bears. And then you got Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons, Monday Night Football this week, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the Philadelphia Eagles at home. That crowd's going to get rowdy. It's Monday night. Philly takes care of business in this one. So I got the Philadelphia Eagles over the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football this week. So, yeah, those are the Bryce's picks for week 2. So we got that taken care of. So, yeah, NFL done and over with. Week 1, a hell of a week. I can't wait for the rest of the season. But week 1, couldn't ask for a better way to start off the 2024 NFL season. But now we got to hop over to college football. So college football last week, pretty interesting. I want to talk more about this Michigan-Texas game. So obviously going to this game, I picked Michigan. If you guys were following the podcast or any of my posts on social media, I picked Michigan to win this one. You know, I knew they were going to struggle. I knew it was going to be ugly, but I didn't know it was going to be this ugly. I watched that first drive. We couldn't stop them. You know, they get the ball first. Texas does. And, you know, we had 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, you know, stuff like that. And we couldn't stop them on 3rd down. I'm just like, oh, yeah, they're done. I mean, on that first drive, we allow them to get a field goal in that one. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was really surprised that it was as bad as it was. You know, I thought Michigan would put up more of a fight, but it looks like they didn't even show up. They didn't show up at all. And it's proven. I mean, that, second quarter, we couldn't stop them. Their offensive line destroyed, embarrassed, bullied our defensive line. Quinn Ewers had all day to throw. Look at the stats. 24 for 36, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then our quarterback, Davis Warren, God bless him. You know, he had leukemia in high school. From his sophomore year of high school to his senior year, he only had 7 starts. So God bless him. But, man, 22 of 33, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And the 1 interception he threw, it was like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Throw it away. If nothing's there, throw it away. You're forcing passes that should not be forced, should not even take place. And if you give the Texas defense that much of an advantage, they're going to take the ball and they're going to run with it. They're going to run all over you. And that's exactly what they did. Our defense, not worth a damn. They didn't do anything to stop Texas. Texas had a field day with us. They embarrassed us. I mean, it was bad. It was absolutely disgusting. It was a bad, rough, and horrible performance by the Michigan Wolverines at home. I mean, you got embarrassed at home. Second week of the season. I mean, you knew this was a big game coming in. You had to prepare better. You didn't. You played like shit, and it showed. Texas, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in January competing for a national championship. That's how good they look. And knowing this program, you know, for many years they struggled as a program. The past couple of years, though, they're back to Texas football, as we love and appreciate, right? But, man, Texas, hats off. What a hell of a game. But Michigan, a lot of question marks, man. Offensive line, what the hell is going on there? How are we going to fix that? Quarterback, who's going to be our quarterback this week? Davis Warren? I don't know. I don't think that's a good assumption. Alex Orji? I don't think he can throw the ball. So you got Jack Tuttle, who third-string quarterback. Give him a shot, maybe. I don't know, because Davis Warren's not the answer. And I get it's week 2. It's here early. We got a long season ahead of us. But, man, we got teams coming up. We got USC in a couple weeks. We got Oregon early in November. Obviously, we got the Michigan State game. That's always exciting. You know, Michigan State's 2-0 right now. And then, obviously, we have the game against Ohio State at the end of the season. So, and Ohio State's looking pretty damn good, even though they haven't played anyway. And then a couple, like a month from now, we got the Little Brown Jug game against Minnesota. That's always a classic, right? Davis Warren's not the answer. He's not going to lead us to the promised land. I get it, we lost a lot of guys from the national championship team. But dude, next guy up, you know what the expectations are. You are the defending national champions. All other college football programs are eyeing you. They're coming after you because they want that title. They want that spot. They want that glory. What do you think's going to happen? How they played Michigan, how they played this past weekend against Texas, it was absolutely embarrassing. It was disgusting. I can't believe I watched the whole game. I should have just shut it off going to the fourth quarter because Texas was up 31-6 at that point. Bad, horrible, disgusting. For a primetime game, we got to do better in Michigan. That was disgusting. I mean, that probably one of the worst games I ever watched. It really was that bad. I mean, look at it. Here's the stats. Our rushing game, our running attack. That's supposed to be our bread and butter, right? Yeah, watch this. Donovan Edwards, 8 carries, 41 yards, 0 touchdowns. Khalil Mullings, 6 carries, 25 yards. Benjamin Hall, 3 carries, 14 yards. Davis Warren, 3 carries, 3 yards. Alex Orji came into the game. Two rushes for -1 yards. That's our rushing attack. A total of 82 yards rushing. Yeah. And that's supposed to be our bread and butter? I don't think so. But yeah, watching the opening drive of this game, as I mentioned, I knew it was going to be horrible. It was absolutely disgusting. And Texas looked absolutely phenomenal. Gunnar Helm, that tight end, that big tight end, he had a good game. 7 receptions, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Like, dude. And then Golden and Blue, Jadon Blue, 6 receptions, 37 yards, a touchdown. Matthew Golden, 6 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. So, dude, he was just throwing. He had all day to throw. I mean, I don't think we had 1 sack in that game. That's how good that offensive line of Texas was. And they won the battle in the trenches. And I was talking about this during the game. We're losing the battle in the trenches, and it showed for 4 quarters. We got absolutely our asses kicked on the offensive line. We got our asses kicked on the defensive line. We could not provide any pressure to Quinn Ewers. Our offensive line cannot hold their blocks so we can create running lanes for our running backs or give Davis Warren time to throw the ball. It was crazy. And then, here's our receiving game. Colston Loveland, 8 receptions, 70 yards. Samaj Morgan, 5 receptions, 45 yards. C.J. Charleston, 1 reception, 22 yards. So, yeah, he's throwing the ball, but we're not getting touchdowns. We're not getting, big gains. Samaj Morgan had a late touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Oh, great. But the game's already done. The crowd was out of it. They silenced, in Texas did a very good job early on to silence the crowd, and they did. Early in the game, I mean, we couldn't do anything in that game. 31-12, yeah, that's putting it lightly. It should have been a lot worse, but that's scary, dude, because we got a long season, and it's going to be a tough season. Michigan's got a tough schedule this year. We got USC, we got Oregon, we got Ohio State. We have other teams playing the Big Ten. We got Minnesota, we got Michigan State. I'm worried about this team. I'm worried about the Michigan Wolverines. What the hell are they going to do? You got Arkansas State this weekend. Noon kickoff, Big Ten Network. What are you going to do? Who's going to be the quarterback? Davis Warren? Give him another shot? Maybe against this team. But shit, we were struggling against Fresno State week 1. We might struggle against Arkansas State week 3. So, yeah, Texas absolutely dominated this game, and they deserve that victory. And like I said, they will be competing for a national championship. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if they compete for a national championship when it comes time in January. But Michigan, though, not a good way to start. Make it a game at least. You guys didn't even show up. This was not competitive at all. Texas basically came into the big house and took a giant shit on you guys. That's exactly what they did. So, we'll see what happens. Michigan's got Arkansas this Saturday. See if I'll be able to watch it. I'll be up north golfing, but man, that is embarrassing. So all these other games, Georgia taking care of business. Ohio State taking care of business. Obviously, Texas kicking our ass. So you have that. Alabama looked like they were going to struggle against South Florida, but they took that game away. Notre Dame, number 5 Notre Dame loses an upset against Northern Illinois, their first ever top 10 win in program history. Going to that game, they were 0-10 against top 10 teams. Northern Illinois, congrats. I like seeing these upsets. That's what makes college football so special, because you never know what's going to happen. In the NFL, yeah, upsets happen, but it's professional football. This is college. These are kids. And little-known schools like Northern Illinois going up against a big-name school like Notre Dame, going in there and winning on the road, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. That's why I love college football. That's what makes it so special. 16-14, upset. Notre Dame, they're probably almost out of the top 25. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Ole Miss taking care of business. Oregon almost losing. Another almost upset right there. Boise State losing 37-34 against Oregon. So Oregon surviving there. Penn State winning against Bowling Green. Bowling Green looked like they were going to pull off the upset, but they couldn't get the job done. So yeah, Miami, that's another team. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the college football playoffs this year. USC, a lot of these teams. Oklahoma, who else? So yeah, a lot of teams. LSU, I don't trust LSU, even though they won against Nichols. Yeah, who the hell is Nichols, right? 44-21. I just don't trust Brian Kelly, man. They blew that game week 1 against USC a couple weeks ago. So, but yeah, a bunch of good games here. Clemson. But yeah, going back to Texas, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're one of the final 2 teams competing for a national championship. Ohio State too. Georgia's going to be in there for sure. Alabama. Yeah, I don't see Notre Dame making it. Ole Miss, maybe. Oregon might make it to the top in the Final 4. Miami, maybe another team who makes it to the Final 4. Too early to tell. We're going to week 3. But, man, that is definitely something to think about. And then Michigan, I don't even know where the hell they're going to be. You already got 1 loss. You can't afford another loss. Excuse me. Yeah, you can't afford another loss. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, you got week 3 coming up. Alabama and Wisconsin, noon kickoff on Fox. That's going to be a good one. LSU, South Carolina, interesting one there. Michigan and Arkansas State. So, yeah, Michigan. Can they rebound from that embarrassing loss, that ass whooping by Texas? Can they rebound? I believe they can. They're playing at home. Whoever the quarterback is, they got to step up. That offensive line needs to step up. Our defense needs to create pressure, and our defensive backs need to make plays in the passing game. Michigan will rebound, though. They're number 17 this week, going into week 3. I got Michigan winning against Arkansas State, but don't sleep on Arkansas State. I mean, like I said, the first couple weeks of Michigan football, I have not been impressed, especially last week against Texas. That was horrible. But they do rebound against Arkansas State. I got the Michigan Wolverines winning this one. And then you got Boston College, Missouri, Oregon State, both 2-0. That's going to be an interesting game. Don't sleep on Oregon State. I love those rivalry games, especially early in the season. That's awesome. Miami, Ball State, Notre Dame, and Purdue. That'll be. I like Purdue in that one. I think Purdue is going to take care of business there. Texas and UTSA, Georgia and Kentucky, 7:30 night game there. So yeah, to highlight some of the big games for week 3 this coming weekend. But yeah, Michigan, get your shit together, man. Figure it out. I don't care. No excuses. Just figure it out. So you got that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with Guys Time the Brides today. So thank you for joining me. We got UFC 306 this weekend, live from the Sphere, September 14th, Saturday, 10 p.m., main card. First time ever. One and done, according to Dana White. So all you MMA fanatics, watch some fights this weekend. Canelo Alvarez is fighting too. So all you boxing fanatics, watch some boxing this weekend as well. So yeah, we are done with Guys Time with the Brides. Thank you for joining me. As you know, this episode is going to be available on my YouTube page, the video at Guys Time with the Brides, and then the audio will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, it will be available. But yeah, it was good to get that off my chest. We need to talk about football. Week 1 of the NFL is done. Week 2 of college football is done. Michigan looked like absolute ass against Texas, and it showed. The Lions coming back in dramatic fashion, lighting up that Ford Field crowd, winning in overtime. David Montgomery, smash mouth football at its finest. You gotta love it. And now we go into week 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then all you fantasy football fanatics, get your lineups ready. We're going into week 2. And have fun with it. It's going to be a great season. I can't wait. So I'm out. So thank you for joining me. You guys are awesome. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. And we'll be back here for next week on Guys Time of the Prize. All right, see you later, guys. Have a great rest of the day.